Welcome to VR Broadcast Network. I'm the one and only TGI Torquemada here for Tyro's Midweek Madness Early Edition. Looks like we've got a really big crowd here in the voice chat with me tonight. If I'm looking at the roster, we got the one and only Natasha, Lore, Skittles, Surtrees, Roman, SLM Hodor, and Viperphobia. Although I think Viper is actually playing in this match, so that could be interesting to have him in on the cast with us. How's everybody doing tonight? Well, Tasha's going to get the participation trophy. So anyways, we've got 5v5 action planned for everybody tonight. It looks like we've got 8 people in the arena so far, so we're just waiting for a couple of stragglers to get in before we send them the ready up. Hopefully we can get moving pretty quickly. In the meantime, since we have Surtrees, one of the Tyro admins, he can give us an update on what's going on with Tyro this week.
Oh, I don't know. I've been away all week, so I'm just catching up today. But we our special events committee is planning something for January to start off the new year. So look for that in the upcoming weeks or so.
Cool. Looks like BT Blackhawk has joined us in the chat as well now. Hey, welcome, BT.
You were gonna play.
Thought who was gonna play, Tosh?
Hawk.
I mean, he's in the arena. BT Blackhawk is on in the arena.
I'm playing. I just joined in so I can record the audio with my feed.
Okay.
So we're gonna have multiple players in the voice chat with us here, as well as in the arena. This should be interesting. Looks like we're still waiting for one more player to jump in so that the teams can ready up, and then we'll get into the action. Everybody excited for the upcoming VRML Season 7 about to start?
When does that start?
Sometime in January.
Sure.
Sure.
I would say the qualifiers is like January 20th or something.
Okay.
I think everybody in the voice chat here is on a team, aren't you? Roman, you're the only one I'm not sure about. Are you on a team now?
I'm on Skills' team.
Oh, shit. Dissonance gonna rock
I
it.
have been for a little while now. Not in season, I guess, but yeah.
Dissonance gonna rock it into High Diamond this season.
Okay.
Nobody let them fool you. Both of them are cracked. If you don't think they are, play them once. You'll figure it out.
We do all right.
We do all right. Yeah, and I'm a bronze player, right?
I did score like 32 points the other day in Monday Marathon, so that was fun. I think Roman scored like 25, 27.
Jesus.
Sure. Sounds. I remember I had the most of everything else except stuns.
Would you have like 15 saves there, Roman?
No, I don't think it was double digits. I just kind of do whatever in Tyro stuff, so not as many saves.
Still getting back into fast moving mode.
So, Hodor, will this be your first VRML season? Quiet. Maybe not gonna listen.
I think Hodor is needed.
Hodor doesn't want to talk to us. That's all right. You don't have to talk to us. You just hang out in VC with us. Looks like they're all still warming up.
Sorry, George, I had that muted.
There you are. So is this going to be your first VRML season coming up?
No, we started the last half of the first season, or season 6.
Oh, so it'll be your first full season. Okay.
Yeah.
Which team are you on, Hodor?
Sorry, we are the Wild.
You fucking dig.
Okay.
No more stunning. You're just gonna come up.
I didn't hear what he
Squid.
said. That was broken up for me,
I
but
missed all of it.
Wild squids.
wild
I
squids.
love
All
it.
right.
I love it. My dad
Is
used to
that
call
a-
it squids as kids.
I'm gonna have to go look that roster up and see who all's on that team.
Is that a Tyro roster?
All of our players are Tyro.
Yep.
Now, we all slowly joined Tyro.
After.
So let's see. Let me go look at wild squids and see what we got. Oh, Kurt's on that team with you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, list it off. Who is it?
Hodor, Halo Clock, Skeen, Tyrian Duck, and Kurt BD.
I don't know anybody except for Kurt.
Kurt and Hodor are the
You're all
only
like
ones.
Tyro members.
Yeah,
Yep.
Halo
Skeen.
Clock was on my
Yeah, we're
academy.
all Tyro members now.
I don't know a Skeen.
No way.
I don't either,
Yeah,
but
he's not very active.
yeah,
Fair.
that's fair.
Oh my god.
Actually, looks like you guys played all the way back. You guys played the Wild Squids team anyway. Played the whole season of season 6, so it won't be completely new and foreign.
I just hope that season 7 is not like season 6, and it doesn't take 11 and a half weeks for MMR to make its mind up.
I specifically put in the feedback form to move the starting teams back to 1,000 MMR instead of 1,100.
I should have put that in there too.
Yeah,
That'd be a good one.
setting it at 1100 didn't make any sense. All you did was clog up the middle part of the MMR range, right?
Yep.
Brand new bronze teams are not going to be 1100, no way, shape, or form. So why start
And
them
the
there?
fact that so many gold teams were like, yeah, made it to diamond this season.
Yeah, we made it to diamond this season for exactly one day. Yep.
We made it to diamond. We made it to diamond on, but we only did it with 3 forfeits in a row instead of 4.
Yeah.
9.
Oof. But, like, there were so many people who were like, yeah, we peaked at number 11, and I was like, bro, you're like 140 now. You didn't peak at 11.
They peaked at 11 when only like
When
12 teams
only
had
4
played.
people- Oh, looks like we're starting.
We're getting ready to go. Got a neutral joust lined up. Let's see how these teams now. Remember, this is 5v5 craziness, not established team play. So we expect a little bit of chaos in Midweek Madness here. Looks like the Blues going to get the headbutt, and Kay's going to get the recovery. Viper's going to take it in, but slapped down by Alex. Nice save right there. Orange is going to get the disc back. Your new stepdaddy G is going to clear it out, at least get it down in the mid, but really bad bounce for the orange team. Blue's going to get the disc back. Kay's going to slow it down, let the offense spread out a little bit. Gets a cross pass under boot. They're going to drive it in. Oh, I thought that was a shot, but nope. That was a pass up to a fender up on the ceiling. Does a little bit of a fade and makes the shot from 1 meter out. Nice play.
Yeah, you have. You want a drink? Take a drink of my water. I'll go right.
We do have open comms, and the comms will be going across the stream, so everybody can hear and enjoy some of the chaos. Hopefully we don't hear things that we don't want to hear on stream.
I don't know where you are. I'm on clock. Never mind. Holy son. Intercepted. Hey, look over and send it. Come low. I'm back. Jumping on, I got it.
Nice save, Viper.
Offender. Okay. You right? Up.
Everybody in chat is so quiet tonight.
Watch it. Oh no! Yours, Red.
I'm technically working.
Oh.
I technically could be taking a nap right now. So,
I'm also technically working, so.
Shoot it. It's all yours.
Oh, that was nice.
Nice little slap in by Dr. Turt. Not quite the 3, unfortunately, but still gets the 2 on the board. So, Trees, we are doing 2 3-round matches, right? Standard Midweek Madness.
It should be,
Oh,
yeah.
that hurt.
Where's the rest of the team?
I don't know, but
What the heck? Like, where did all the blue team go?
I don't even know on that play. That was bad because
on split tunnels
did a
with
good
the
old-
stacks.
5-stack at disc.
every single person on the orange team hit the shield and stalled, and yet they were still able to slap it, re-grab down, and go get it and dunk it.
Oh my god, what the hell? Red.
Well, how did Viperphobia and Kay get on the same team?
Yours, Red.
I don't know. Didn't you make teams?
Yeah, Kay wasn't on the list though.
Oh, okay. They must have brought in a teammate there then. And so now you've got 2 selfish members on the same side.
Left post.
And for those in the listening, the selfish is the team name. They're not actually selfish.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but yes, that is their team name.
Depends on the day, you know, everybody's got a little selfish in them.
I mean, you look at Viper sitting here, entering people left and right, and then shooting it down bottom pocket. Yeah.
Only person that's not like
Yeah,
the
I spoke too soon.
the least selfish player that I know is Roman because he doesn't like taking shots. He wants everybody else to take them.
And-
Take
Yeah,
it.
because you guys make them.
And how many points did he score in that marathon match?
I know, right? We were killing it that
I
match.
think they were mostly 3s.
Yep. Hey, you know what? Sometimes you gotta just have a niche, and then you just gotta.
Oh,
That's disappointing.
offender just bricked a wide open goal from 4
In the
meters.
niche. What are you? What in the world? One day I'll learn how to use my stop button, but probably not, to be honest. Oh.
Oops. PT said nope.
Oh man, 5v5 is so confusing sometimes.
I think it's 5v5 with a lot of slapping, and you know, if there was more developed teamwork.
Organized 5v5.
Yeah.
Because I mean, five people can be used correctly to strategically play really well Echo, but when it's everybody
Yeah, but that's no
who,
fun.
I mean, it could be fun.
Nice pick, and that's in.
Yeah, organized 5v5 is pretty nice, but chaotic 5v5 is chaotic.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy both. They have their merits.
You are correct. Organized is organized, and chaotic is chaotic.
Thank you, Trees, for that excellent analysis of the differences between the games.
What? The world? Viper and his jelly knees.
I'm telling you, it's all in the hip. You don't really need to use the knees to duck.
I get you, but like, I got like hips and all of it's messed up. It's all bad.
You can just do a little bit of each, and then it only hurts a little bit with your knees and your hips, and not just a
I
lot
wish I
for
could just
one.
do like Luke and bend forward, but then I got the back issues, so it's like, you know, well.
Skit, you're too good to need to use all those little tricks.
Man, but I have to be better.
You're a diamond player without doing it.
Well, I could be so much better. That's the sad part. Like, I'm all busted up.
Yeah, I have like four good ducks in me before I'm too tired to duck anymore.
At least you
I
get
mean, like,
4.
sometimes I'll get like a really nice one in, and then I'll be like, yeah, and I'll come back up, and I'm like, oh.
Exactly. Me and Skit get like 1
Oh.
per game, okay?
You get one good duck.
We get excited and
play
forget
against-
we're old and broke, and
And then you go play against like Viper or Khan, and you're just like up and down and up and down and up and down. You're like, oh, stop.
Con just basically plays on a trampoline.
Like it feels like it.
Moonboots.
Oh yeah.
now that's the funniest thing I've heard in comms in a long time. In a 5v5 midweek madness, somebody is screaming reset bow. Ain't nobody resetting in this game.
Well, I feel like generally when I'm playing stuff, I'm a reset option and I'm gonna call it, just in case someone decides to, you know.
It would be lovely if they did, but oh no!
Oh, got the ender off and missed the shot.
You gotta hold on to the walls. You gotta hold on to something. Oh, that was disappointing. Is that a 3?
Yeah. Yeah, they left a wide open goal 3. But
that was the plane the other day, and something happened similar, and someone lost all of their momentum, and the goal was open, and it was just like a 6 meter per second shot, and I was like, oh my gosh, how did this even happen? Man, it's like we're playing trading places.
that's a good question. You hear people on the comms right now calling red like 15 times, right? Is it really that much more effective to say red, or just say, hey, you're red?
Well, first of all, one-time red, I don't personally believe is effective. Because if there's any glitch in the reception on the other person's side, they won't hear 1. So I personally feel it's got to be at least 3.
I think
And honestly,
I
if
think there
can
can be
hear
too
the
many.
panic in someone's voice, I'm more likely to take the red seriously. Not saying I don't take it seriously, but if someone's like screaming red over and over, panicked, I'm probably gonna get rid of it.
I don't know who's grabbing, but
I don't think you need to say it 1,000 times, but I will definitely say that I have been known to do that. So, I mean, no, and that's just a I think that's more of a personal, like verbal. What's
Pattern.
the word? Like, not so much chatter, but like I'm nervous.
No, I said
That's like
pattern.
a relief. What? What?
Like your pattern of speech.
Oh, sort of.
Yeah,
I think
my pattern of speech for callouts is double everything.
Yeah.
Look at Viper with 4 saves in 1 round. Question is, how many of those were actual saves? Because we know the game doesn't record them properly.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. There at one point there were a lot of like 10 meter per second shots at goal. So there's a lot to be said about not. I don't know. I feel like the higher you get up in the levels, there's a lot to be said about not throwing the disc into the goalie's hands. Like,
As a goalie, I thoroughly appreciate when you throw a 10-meter shot at me. I really do appreciate
All my
that.
saves.
It makes life so easy.
If you put your hand out in front of your face and somebody comes in and you don't move 1 inch and they throw it and you catch it, you get a save. But did you do much?
Well, no.
Well, it's not maybe as impressive as you grabbing a cross goal attempt at a pocket, but it still shows up. But it's like, what's the difference between an 8-meter three and a 60-meter three? Nothing. They're worth the same. They're exactly the same. Interesting bat.
Nope, a little low.
Oh,
That was
so
close.
close. Nice try.
Orange team gonna
Since
get.
I was like away for a week at my parents' house, I played last night and I was so rusty. It was funny. All my shots were just like slightly off. Yeah, it was weird. The game felt weird.
That's so funny. I feel like
That is.
Roman had the same thing, I think, where I hadn't played in 8 days, and I got on and I was playing better than I played in like weeks. It was super weird. It was like my body was like, you needed some time off, and I'm gonna say thank you by giving you this.
You forgot all your bad habits.
There you go.
Not like she had a whole lot of bad habits to forget, but
gained some bad habits in the 8 days I took a break because it was just slightly off everything.
Oh yeah. That's just me on certain days. That's why I always tell people that what the world? Oh my god.
As a goalie, that just hurts my heart to watch them just sit there and let him dunk.
Yeah, all you gotta do with him is just push that.
Yep.
Read the duck, grab him, take the disc instead of going for the stun, because he's gonna ender you.
Yep.
Every time.
Easy.
Yeah, he is definitely very readable as a striker from a goalie's perspective. You know what his attack pattern is going to be every single time. It's not unpredictable.
Have to know it's him doing it and have enough thought to actually do what I just said, which I don't usually.
Who's the hardest player?
One thing.
Go ahead, Skip.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I feel like one of the things that really separates people from middle to high to much higher level in Echo is one's ability to be flexible with understanding and learning your opponents. Like, the best teams are the ones that can spend the first 5 minutes of a match learning the other team 100%. And if they can change everything about their gameplay to suit the other team's strengths, that's it. That's what they do.
Adaptability.
And fast. Oh my goodness.
Again, guys, come on. He gets the disc, he ducks. Read the duck, dive on it. He can't duck twice.
So, like, if you're in the goal or you're around it, like, that's one of the things where you would be like, you've seen it 2-3 times now in this game, and you're like, okay, I'm seeing a pattern.
Yep.
I want to try and what was that?
I don't know.
I'm gonna try and call the pattern, right? What the heck?
Oh, Turt stole it from him.
Imagine stealing a 30. Couldn't be me. It probably has been, but.
So, Roman, as a goalie, who's the most difficult striker that you've faced one-on-one to be able to read?
I don't know if I have a specific person. I don't know. Maybe like Faye.
Oh yeah, he's pretty good. What are we?
See, I gotta say, Khan is the one. I love defending Khan, but if I'm in goal, I do not like his jukey ass.
Honestly, for me, it's left-handers. I don't see it coming.
Oh, that's a good point.
The change in which arm needs to do what, which one needs to grab and which one needs to punch or what, it just throws me completely off because it's backwards and I don't know who's going to be left-handed. I should learn how to play left-handed more or score like that. That would just throw people so off.
I just think it's funny that, I love defending Khan. I hate playing as the goalie when he's got the disc.
I personally like people who like subscribe to Dunk Meta, which I mean I do too, so I'm kind of a hypocrite there. But I don't know. I think the last thing I remember when I was playing con was I think reading a duck going in for a dunk and stuffing him, and him getting mad at me for it. But
Did he meow at you?
Well,
I don't think he did.
It was more of a hiss.
yeah,
Oh
I
my
love Khan,
gosh.
but you can get it under his skin pretty easily at times. So,
Well, lately his headset's just been doing that.
oh, that'll do it. Yeah. And obviously, the easiest person to read and stuff dunks is Martini. We all know that.
Speaking of, where's Martini even been?
I don't know. I haven't seen him around lately.
Yeah, maybe just take an extended holiday.
Holiday.
I actually haven't seen a lot of any of the sound system players recently. I don't know what they're up to.
I've been playing a fair amount with Rajin.
Have you? Okay.
He's been in stuff when I've been playing later.
Well, he did do a couple of like pickup night things.
Yep, he's the only one though.
I haven't seen.
Yeah,
Nolan in
Raijin is
100
signed up
years.
for late.
Like, where's Nolan? Like, I swear I have not seen him speak once.
Yeah, Nolan's been extraordinarily quiet. Really, I think all the way back into beginning of season 6. So
Why are we shooting on goalies when there's no reason to be shooting on goalies? You know how many times I had to yell at my academy team for shooting on goalie, trying to score a 3 on a goalie? Score a 3 on a goalie? You can't even shoot 18. You can't barely shoot 15 meters per second, but you want to shoot a 3 on a goalie.
the goalie appreciates it.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
I mean,
Might as
absolutely.
well just walk it over there and hand it right back to them. That was
But then it's only a
left-handed.
2.
Ah, grab the fucking log.
That's still not nearly as egregious to me as those wild first passes by the quarterbacks that go too deep into the tunnel and get fed right to the backstack. That
Who's that person that just scored? I don't recognize that name.
offender,
Is that a new person?
I believe that's a newer person. Yes, he was very excited to be playing in a casted Midweek Madness match.
Gotta love being casted.
Although I question his definition of famous because he was happy that he was going to be able to be casted by me because apparently I was famous. I was like, no, you need to talk to Luke or Jeep
let's
or.
Let's pretend that Tyro was the whole entire world, right? If so, then yeah.
Torque is famous,
you're
yeah.
pretty
Tyro
famous.
famous.
You're exceptionally famous. If Tyro was the world.
Isn't that like saying I'm the best basketball player at the old folks' home?
Oh, shut up.
I
Tori.
mean,
Knock
it's
it
I
off.
mean, if you think Tyro is an old folks' home, then I guess technically that would be correct. These passes are just, it's 5v5, but, I still think everybody tries to do their best. I just wish that they would kind of slow it down a little bit mentally. So much.
That's the thing. I think Chaos 5v5 can be fun just for the fact of the chaos, but Echo as a sport is so much prettier when you slow it down and play it well.
You got a
This
K
is a
now.
tunnel, and I'm losing my mind. What'd you say?
I was giving her confidence. And she did not get the disc.
I was like, I don't know what's happening right here in the tunnel, but it is not okay.
I don't know what they're doing now.
Well, they're laughing, so they're having fun.
Yeah,
That's what matters.
they're like
Is it?
goalie resetting to nobody, and that is an epic clear right there.
Critical.
Holy crap.
Slow down. It's okay.
That disc literally bounced off of 3 different geos and ended up farther back than the player was when they had it.
Oh, that was good. I got a thread the needle shot a couple days ago that felt really good. It was like between shield and nugget.
You've got one of those on the intro video as well for VRBN.
Yeah.
Yep. From the coaches,
that shot.
from the Tyro Academy Season 2 coaches game, there's a POV shot of you taking it,
Oh,
that
I remember that one.
taking the coin slot from probably 35 meters out. You were just inside the midfield,
Coach's game was
and
a
it
nice
just
game for us.
it just kissed right off of the shield. You can see where it
Oh,
just
yeah.
Those are the best.
That bounce one.
yeah.
That was a cool one.
But that's the thing, you couldn't even see that it actually bounced. You just barely saw that it kissed it and went right
I
in.
think it wasn't. I think the disc didn't bounce, but the orb around the disc went through the shield.
Might have,
I
yeah.
think that was what it was, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that could have been bad."
Yeah, it was that's why it's on the highlight reel, because it was a rather impressive coin slot.
Yeah, Roman made a really good mail slot the other day. It was like 50, 60 meters, something like that.
When did I do that?
I don't know. We played in like 3 games this week, so
We did.
I don't. It was
I don't remember
really
getting
late.
a mail on any of those. So
I think it could have been last night, actually. Yeah, I think it was the first part of our game, the first half. I don't know. It was a good
I'll
one.
trust
though.
you on that one.
Yes, trust me. It was either tonight or the night before. One of the two.
So it looks like they're shuffling teams around, trying to balance a little bit here.
Alright, we should be good with that then.
We played in a game the other day, and we got to the 3rd round, and we changed. Maybe it was a 4, whatever. But we changed. We swapped out the folks 3 times, and every single time we swapped somebody, the score was the same, just different. So like it was like 5-16, and then it was like 16-5, and then it was like 5-16, and we were like, apparently in this room we can't even out. We just are messing this up.
Yeah, I've had plenty of matches that were like that. There's just no way that with the random people, that you can balance it perfectly and get it.
I'm just so not. Oh goodness, that was close. I'm just not a fan of headbutts on the initial. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I agree. That's a.
I feel like you
Yeah, it's a
have
last
such a
resort.
better chance if you can slap to a specific location. Like,
Nice
oh,
stop.
come on.
Yeah, I agree with you. On the neutral joust, I think you should always be communicating with your stack partner as to
Look,
where you're going to
A
slap it
shot on
to,
goalie.
and just
A 20-meter shot on a goalie. Yeah.
Skit's in a mood to analyze people's play here. And
I am. Nice shot.
that was a shot on a goalie, though, Skit.
It wasn't a 3.
Oh.
What did I specifically say?
It was also a cross post cut, so.
The only time I've ever made 3s on a goalie is if the goalie gets stunned out, or if it's a perfect play. Like, nothing else works.
Yeah, you've heard me say it, and I've definitely said it to all the academy teams and all the new goalies that if they give up a 3, that's 100% their fault. If they give up a 2, that's their team's fault for even letting the disc get there.
I mean, you go in, you try to take your shot, goalie saves it. Fantastic. Well done, goalie. You're awesome. A blind 15-meter attempt on a goalie, though.
That's the silly shot to take.
We couldn't do any better than that. We
Yeah.
had 4 other people. You know what I mean? That's the thing that I try to remember, at least keep in my own mind. There are 3 other people on my team in the arena that could possibly take the disc. I do not have to score.
Well, we were talking about that. I think it was last night during the cast. Oh no, it was during a film review with one of the teams. A video review was that one of their strikers likes to take those 0 angle shots from ceiling even against sitting goalies. And I'm like, that's just a silly shot to take. Oh, but she makes it. Okay. When you're playing against goalies that aren't very good. But
that's number one. Yeah. Number two, it really does depend on it really depends on what's happening around you. Like, okay, am I on the ceiling and I'm in a 1v1 with the goalie and I feel really confident in my 0 angle shots? Okay, cool. 1v1, let's rock and roll. Is it like a 1v3 and I have 2 open teammates and
yes,
yet I still want to do this on my own?
that's literally what the play was that we were reviewing. Was there was a player cross boot, there was a player on the same post, and then there was the player on the ceiling, and took a 0 angle shot against a sitting goalie. And I'm like, that's just not a great
shot. It took me a long time to get out of that, though. Like, it took a lot of months before my brain would accept that non-one, because sometimes you're going into goal, and if you're going to make a really good shot, like, you got to put a decent amount of, your mind into it. Like, what pocket are you going to do? Are you going to do anything with your hands? Are you going to duck? What are you going to do? And sometimes, at least for me, all of that got into my head, and that made me ignore every other thing in the arena. And so all I could think of was, what am I going to do with this disc to put it into the goal? Instead of, yo, dude, you're in a terrible spot. Stop trying to take the disc in, because it's not going to happen. You have like a 5% chance of this working out successfully, and your teammate is wide open with like a 90% chance of scoring.
I think that's the thing. That's the thing that I kept on trying to tell them during the review is you're looking at percentages, right? Mm-hmm. You want the highest percentage shot. No shot is 100%. So get the very highest percent shot that you can get. You're going to end up scoring more points in the long run.
Yep.
And
that's hard because unfortunately the way that this game was built when we all started playing, and I will die on this hill, the way that the pub system is set up, it's set up so that the most important person in the room is the person who's scoring. And
yeah.
I disagree with that. I get most of my MVPs through passing.
But look at it this way.
But throughout the game, that's why you got it, though.
Exactly. Throughout the game, what happens? You get these giant cheers of applause every time the score is made. What happens? You get to see for 17 seconds the fact that you were MVP. That is a big deal, but I feel like there's this huge impetus that's like, oh, if you score, well, look at how amazing you are. You're, so awesome. And then we get even into private matches, right? And it's like, oh, yeah, what a fantastic score. I've talked to Tosh about this before. Like, who's out here like, hey, what a great job punching out that guy so that I could grab it from the ceiling and then pass it to our other teammate who passed it to the other one, and then we scored. Like, the person who punched the person out that stopped you from not being able to get the disc was imperative in that specific scenario of score.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that.
That's like most sports, though. Most sports you get more cheers and stuff for scoring than you do for doing the assist pass or the,
But I think that in some unfortunately weird way, people get a little too... They get too concerned about the score portion and not about the passing. I do think it's nice that we, as not brand new players, I think we focus a little bit more on assists. I mean, when I first started, I don't think anybody was really talking about assists as being like an important part of the game. But then as you progress, you're like, wow, these assists are obviously a huge part of the game because, you start doing cuts and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. But there seems to be that point where you've got to get to the point where you don't think that the most important thing or one of the top things in the arena, that was a nice shot, is being the person with the highest number of... I have seen people in matches trying to kill themselves to score. Not passing.
But here's the question, Skit. If you say assists, aren't you still focusing entirely on? I mean, ultimately, an assist, you only get an assist when somebody scores, right? So you're still focusing heavily on the offensive nature
Yes.
of the
And
game.
what I'm saying about that is if you're a person who's always focused on scoring, then if you change your mind frame into being a person who's focusing on assisting, then you pull yourself out of this idea that I have to be number one, and you put yourself into I have to be a team player, because that assisting doesn't just happen in the bubble for a score. You start assisting outside of the bubble.
Well,
It's this idea I
I'm
don't
gonna
have to be the one in full control.
I'm going to disagree with you only because I think that doesn't emphasize um, a lot of other key stats that are heavy for backline players, whether it's a goalie or a midfielder. You know, yes, you get some assists, but realistically, interceptions, clears, stuns, steals, all of those are primarily backline stats, and you don't get nearly enough attention to that. But we all know that the
We don't
impact
have
that
those stats though.
well
I can't give you attention to steal stats.
you
I can't because
can
I don't have those
you,
stats.
you can, but you have to have Spark running in the background because Spark does record those.
Yeah, I don't think that's what she's saying though. She's saying in the moment.
Oh yeah, well,
I mean, yeah, it's cool, but but then again, how many steals really happen in a normal game, right?
well,
But other stuff, I get that.
I just think that the defensive stats to me are more important as far as who's more valuable because
And I'm not talking about defensively. What I'm talking about is offensively, because of course your defensive players are going to have completely different things. But what I'm talking about is how do you stop a player from focusing only on scoring?
you can.
That's the person.
I think we see it as a problem too. A lot of times when people are early game and trying to get better, they view strikers as the most valuable part of the team. But you can have a striker that scores all day, and if your defense is shit, like it doesn't matter. It just
still
doesn't
lose.
matter. Like it's a team game. Like
Well.
you have to have all of the components. I mean, we're talking about that now with Echo Dependent. Like I'm trying to show them some of the next level stuff that I know, and I'm like, okay, bubble defense is this. Only one person pushes. We trust that person to push, because if everybody pushes, we don't have a bubble defense. You know, like we don't have that. That's not something we have. So all of those little skills, like the flashy skill is, I mean, like Tree said, it's like that in other sports. Like everybody knows the name of the QB of their favorite team. Do they know like a random tight end or a random do they know the name of the guy? I'm forgetting the position. The linebacker who sits in front of the QB and makes sure he can make that shot. Probably
It wouldn't
not.
be the linebacker, but yeah.
Bad at his job, that QB is never making that shot. You know.
I would equate it more to basketball and positions with basketball.
Torque, I'm not gonna fucking argue semantics with you here. Like it doesn't matter what it's most similar to.
Potty
It is
mouth. Wow.
the metaphor. Like I don't do that.
Yep.
Well, for the rest of the audience, then I'm not arguing with you, Tasha. You don't have to curse at me.
I'll do it.
Yeah, you could do it. No, what I was gonna say was you want a great example of that. Think back to, and this is olden days. Michael Jordan was the most prolific scorer in basketball, but couldn't win a championship until he had defensive players around him where they could actually play as a team. And then all of a sudden they rattled off, what was it, 6 over 10 years? I mean, it.
Yeah, and I was outside of one of those, like with the Utah Jazz when Stockton and Malone were on the team. But there is no Stockton without Malone, you know. And Malone was considered short for not Malone. Stockton was considered short for the league because he was only like 6'2" or something, and I think he was a forward or whatever. Like
He was a point guard.
Point guard, yeah, sorry. He wasn't forward. Forward's the other team. I don't pay as much attention to sports as I did when I was a kid. But anyways, like that's not necessarily the most valued position and role in the game. But like there's a car dealership called Stockton to Malone in Utah because it was said so often. You know, like so like going to Sloss, like there were times where, because I'm a mid and not a striker, like I'd protect Martini, or I would stand up the goalie for Martini. And like, it's great Martini scored, but like he wouldn't have scored without the role I was playing there because it's a team game. There's a reason why we all gripe about solo players, is because they're not fun to play with because it's a team game.
And oftentimes it doesn't work.
It never works at the higher levels. It'll work in bronze and silver, but once you get past that, trying to be a solo player, you're just going to get shut down.
I'd even argue it doesn't work well at bronze or silver. You might win games, but I don't think it's fun, and I don't think it's gonna. None of the rest of your teammates are not gonna figure out how they need to play at the higher levels.
Well, Skittles and I can testify that having a solo player definitely doesn't work at bronze sometimes because we lost. How many did we lose before X left, Skit? Like 7 in a
I
row?
don't know before he left, but it was 10 in a row.
10 in a row was before we finally got a win on the board, but I think we lost 7 in a row when he left.
Something like that, but I mean, pretty fast. Oh, I like it. It was pretty fast turnover. But the point is that regardless, one, it's not fun. Two, it often undermines the whole entire concept of team play. It's really hard to play as a team if someone is not being a team player. That's like trying to add 1 and 1 and pretend it's going to equal 70.
Can we be friends?
It doesn't.
Can we be friends?
Can we be friends? It's cracking up. I'm cracking up that the things there now again.
I'd also argue that this kind of I love Skittles and I have had some conversations about the chaos of 5v5. This is not good technical play that we're looking at here. This is chaos, and I love it. I love me some chaos.
This is absolutely chaos Echo. This is not competitive, organized Echo by any stretch. Anybody who's just casually watching this is not the way to play.
Don't let us deceive you that this is if you got in here and started talking to your teammates the way we're talking to people in Midweek Madness, it would be the wrong way to go about your play.
Everything about this is the wrong way to go about play, but this is pickup ball versus organized ball. They're just out there goofing off.
Be another level past pickup though.
So yeah, this is like backyard fun.
Yeah.
This is like your family after Thanksgiving dinner, picking up the football and throwing it around.
Yeah, this is you and your cousins playing.
Kinda, yeah. How many geos can you hit with one clear? Nice save.
Close.
Nest is not
There's a lot to
open.
be said about the struggle that is learning how to not panic clear.
I think too, on teams, it's really important that you value everyone. That you value every role that's played because it's a team. It's not I know certain roles get the most glory, but like I said, that if that linebacker's not there, or if that linebacker even fails consistently in his job, let's say the linebacker is only 50-50. That quarterback gets sacked because the linebacker doesn't hold his line like he's supposed to.
Tosh, I have to correct you because the linebacker is the guy trying to sack the quarterback.
Oh, okay. Who's the one who's
the offensive lineman?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Sorry. It's literally been 20 years since I've attended a football game.
Yeah,
I've gone to a couple of
You're doing better than I would be doing it.
Yeah. So when I'm saying a lineman or whatever, we're talking about the big guys.
Yes, that's the lineman.
Stand in a line and basically create a shield wall so that the quarterback can get the ball and then throw it.
Yes, that's the offensive line, and I agree with you. If the offensive line sucks, and there's been plenty of examples throughout football history, if the offensive line sucks, the quarterback just gets hurt a lot.
Yeah. And guess what? If your quarterback is getting hurt a lot, it doesn't matter how good he is.
I got to do one shout out though. That save just a second ago by Viper, that was an awesome save. I hate to swell his head up at all, but it really was a nice save.
Well, it's okay. He got stuffed trying to solo a few seconds before that. So
Yeah, well, you know.
He got his own head squishing 2 seconds before.
We played Hyper Dash with him the other day, and he just kept shooting me.
never played that. I'm guessing shooting is the point of it, though.
guys. There are games other than Echo on Oculus.
No, there aren't.
You're a liar.
Don't
You're a
lie.
liar unless it's Jumbotron.
I did play.
You know
I
what's
also
really
played
funny?
Rocket League, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is just like Nog."
You remember that the Room game,
Yeah.
the puzzle one? Okay, so that was the first game I ever bought when I got my headset. And I played it once, and I got through like one room, and that was the last time I played it, and that was like 23 months ago. Or how long have I been playing? Like it was like 20 months ago or something like that. I never did anything with it. I never finished it. I never went back to it, which is dumb because I have legitimately done every single Room phone app that they ever created.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got like a spooky horror game and started playing it, and then I was like, no, I can't do this.
Which one?
Like a Faz.
Oh, Lies Beneath, I think.
I don't think I played that one.
It was freaky.
I think I only have like 3 or 4 games that I've
Oh, I bought
bought
too many
and-
games, and then
and
I found
hardly
Echo,
played.
and I barely played any of them.
I've only bought a few of the games that I have. Not a lot, mostly free games, but
Bought so many. Too many. I don't play any of them.
I bought Township Tale.
Are you still playing Knock?
I also bought
not really,
Township
no.
Tale. I never played it.
Why not?
Missed Echo, honestly.
Yeah, I could see that.
Is your friend still playing it though?
I don't think he's playing too much either.
Where did
They're
you go?
kind of
Wow.
between seasons, so
Oh,
yeah. I think the game's doing well. I'm just not.
well, that's good.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, everything has its season, and some seasons last longer than others, and some shorter than others.
Exactly.
You should come to Denver.
Me? I have a ticket.
Yay!
Yeah, boy, party. Tosh, you already knew that though, I think.
I thought he was a maybe at that point.
I haven't bought my ticket yet though.
How far is it?
I don't know why. I'm just kind of whatever.
What'd you say?
How far is it for you?
It's like a 7-hour drive. Probably would fly though.
Gotcha.
I could just fly direct. Might as well.
We're gonna drive because it's only 5 hours, so I'm like, and then we'll have our so I'm planning to be a chauffeur for some of our friends.
Trees is gonna come. Woo! Of course, but yeah.
Is Trees going to Denver?
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
there. I will be there. Yeah. My brother is moving to Denver, so
Cool.
I'm gonna
That's
see.
cool.
I'm gonna see if I can stay with him and possibly bring my dog down, but we'll see.
Pupper.
Oh, fuck. I didn't see that guy. Oh, damn. Let's go, Viper. I'm not going to catch this.
Oh, disappointing.
You're not going to catch it, but he's
All
not
he
going to
had
make
to do
it.
was
So.
turn. He had the angle of the disc off. Oh, it was so close too. Yeah, that's another thing that took me a little while before I understood how it worked. You know, the idea that like, hey, guess what? I can literally turn the disc different directions to suit the way I need to throw in the location.
Like
You
the
know.
coin slot.
Yeah, exactly. You can't throw a sidearm through a coin slot.
Like that's how I practice my overhand throws because you have to.
Yeah. It's like I started to use this new throw that I really like, specifically from the lower trench, or yeah, I mean really that's the only place it's really effective is right inside the lower trench. But the throw is like, I can't even think. It's kind of like if you were to take a plate and you had this plate and it was horizontal and you threw the plate at a wall, keeping the horizontal level.
You were trying that out less like a summer ago too, though.
So I do it a little bit differently,
Gotcha.
but yes, similar.
'Cause I was telling Nomad about that the other day.
It's weird because it has a really good accuracy for me from low.
I cannot visualize whatever you just said.
I can't either.
Like, because
Yeah,
you can
are you
throw a plate at a
underhanding it?
wall so many different ways.
No, it's
to keep it
not
horizontal.
underhand. So you're holding the disc and the disc is horizontal, right?
Yes.
And you are holding. Let me see. The disc is horizontal, and let's say while you're holding it horizontal, your thumb is pointing to the air, like up ceiling.
Okay, just like
Okay.
a normal forehand.
So
It's like a
yeah.
normal, but of course, the disc is not vertical, it's horizontal. And then you pull back and you keep your thumb, like your thumb points towards your head, and then your thumb points away from your body, straight away from your body.
So you're
So
pronating your
kind of
wrist.
push.
You're kind of pronating your wrist and pushing.
Pushing, and so the disc moves on the horizontal plane, but like not flat, like maybe like 45 degrees, yeah, 45 degrees straight forward
So
on a horizontal plane.
so basically, it looks like it should be going from a 3/4 arm position, but you're actually doing it more of a straight push.
Yes. So that the disc, what you see with the disc is horizontal disc that's like 45 degrees up, since I'm talking specifically from the ground, and then it almost pushes into the goal, like you can almost see the whole face of the disc as it's going into the goal.
Weird.
Oh, it is weird because I don't know, like next time you're in the arena, just try that out because the disc moves strangely when it's. I know that it's 0G, but it feels like it is affected differently moving in that direction than it is when it's vertical. It just feels like it moves slightly differently.
Sounds like a knuckle puck almost.
Yeah, that's what I was
Like
gonna
a
say.
what?
Like a knuckleball. Like you're
Oh,
throwing.
I'm not familiar.
A knuckleball is a trick pitch in baseball, and what Trees is talking about was a knuckle puck is a hockey thing where instead of the puck being flat, you flip it up on its edge before you hit it, and it
Yeah.
creates completely unpredictable flight paths
Mm-hmm.
of it because you've changed the
Does it go
aerodynamics of
straight?
it.
Does it, like when it's up on its side and it's hit? Does it stay in that same
Generally, generally,
horizontal?
but
Generally, yeah.
You do it right, yeah. And yeah,
Yeah,
the
I
air
think
resistance in
that's
that
about
case
right.
just makes it move special, but
yeah.
in Echo that doesn't happen.
But see, I know it doesn't happen, but I'm telling you, like I've been practicing that recently from the lower trench, and sometimes it comes out of my hand, and I feel like, oh, it's not gonna go in. One of those
See,
obvious. I know that I threw it wrong, and somehow it just stays in the path.
see, Skip. Now you're
It
gonna make
doesn't.
me try and throw a knuckleball in Echo just to see if it's possible.
I don't know. I feel like I've played around with ways to throw the disc, and I don't know, I feel like there's some variance in the way the disc moves depending on how you. I know it should move like a ball, but it just doesn't.
Clark, you could use your thumb for all the buttons and stuff, and then each knuckle is like one's each trigger, and there you go, it's a knuckleball. You're holding it like up the controller like upside down almost.
Oh,
Like I said, you definitely now you're gonna make me go into the arena just to tinker around to see, but I can think programmatically of how it would be possible to that they don't have I mean the developers aren't anticipating anybody ever trying to do some weird release like that. So it's possible that there is a bug in there where you could essentially throw a knuckleball, and that would make life for the goalies just downright impossible.
Okay, but I don't understand because you need air resistance for a knuckleball.
In real life you need air resistance for a knuckleball. However, what I'm saying is think about how it's programmed, right? It's they're taking into account the direction of the arm movement and the wrist flick, and the disc follows the vertical plane of the
Yes,
disc follows the release
exactly.
angle of your hand. If you
The code was
intentionally
written
if,
perfect.
yeah,
Yes.
the code is written assuming certain things about throwing styles. If you completely change that to where, you hold the disc up with your kind of like with your palm facing you, and then push it straight out so it stays on that plane of the disc face is looking at you.
Yep.
How does the
That's
the
it.
program translate that throw
Yeah.
versus a standard throw? There's room that
It's
for
very
use
different.
cases where they screwed that up.
It's very different than the movement being something on the horizontal or vertical where the thin part of the disc is pushing forward. What about the thick part of the disc push forward? What happens then? And I feel like it's different.
I mean, yes, I understand what you're saying about the you would need wind resistance and all of that stuff if you were trying to do it in real life. Suspend the reality part of your brain and say, did the developers write it that way or not? And then all of a sudden it becomes a question less of, no, you couldn't do it in 0G because that's not realistic with physics, and more of is there a fault in their logic?
Yeah, for me, just thinking from different ways that I've thrown, I don't think there's any fault. I think whatever orientation it's at, when you throw it, it's going to stay that way for the entire throw, and it's going to travel as if it was just a point in the middle of the disc.
Okay.
I don't
So you're
know.
thinking more of it like a circle.
I think he's
Like a
thinking.
ball.
He's not thinking of it as a shape at all, and more of a single point.
Because that's how it travels.
Yeah, the trajectory is always like a straight line, or more or less.
On the whatever the center of mass would be for it. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm gonna go in an arena and just tinker with it and see, because it is definitely possible for the developers to have gotten that wrong in the engine.
I will say that you were talking about like kind of an open palm throw. That super accurate from half court if you don't want to put any speed on it.
Oh yeah.
I've played with that.
Yeah, but it's less about like the push. For instance, if I'm holding the disc vertically on edge, right, and I just push it, super accurate, no wrist, it's going to go straight wherever my arm was pointing. But now instead of holding it with your thumb to the inside of your body and the rest of your fingers to the outside, turn the disc 90 degrees so your thumb is facing you and all of your fingers are away from your body, and then do a push.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like I can do the exact same throw with the face with the face of the disc facing me, or the small of the disc facing me. I got a regular overhand, and they just move a little differently. I don't know whether it's just all in my head.
I don't think it specifically moves differently unless you. I mean, you are throwing it a little differently, so you're going to get a little different, wrist movement and such. So it'll.
I'm gonna try it intentionally just to see. Maybe there is a bug there. Maybe Skit's just imagining it. Maybe it's a
Or
bug.
maybe, maybe it's just like everything else, and you throw. You find that certain throws just work and feel better for
Yeah.
your
I think
hand.
that's it, personally.
I think that if you have, like, let's say you had a wrist issue or an elbow issue or a shoulder issue that was just like you as a person, it would affect. Oh, who is that?
I don't
So I
know.
think
We're not taking
Jam
salaries no more together.
What?
You get it right, Eli.
Do we need to mute somebody in the chat?
I'm just trying to
I
figure
don't
out
think he's
who it
talking
is.
to us.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Uh-huh.
I think it might throw the same, but I think visually it might throw a bunch of people off, which might be helpful.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. It was pretty cool. I like it, and I feel like I'm gonna start throwing that way from floor. Well, it's a very small area of consistency. It's really a straight on floor.
If it feels good to you, that's what matters, because then it'll work for you.
But what I think is also worth mentioning is a lot of people forget that these discs have a whole lot more than standard throw like a ball to them. There's a lot more to it, because I know some people are like, oh yeah, I throw the disc like this, and that's the only thing they've ever tried. And it's like there are so many different styles of throwing the disc that work for different scenarios that are better for certain scenarios, and sometimes we just
Yeah, you
if you
can't.
don't try it, you don't know it.
You can't. You cannot just do. I will say this definitively. You cannot just do like a pure 12-6 overhand throw mechanic in all situations in this game. You cannot do it.
You need that 90. You need that like 90 degree. That excuse me. Well, whatever 0 degree like that. You need the 45. Sometimes you need the 90. Sometimes the underhand, the overhand, the flat face. Sometimes that 180 degree one where your thumb is pointing to the floor.
Yep.
That one I found can be really useful in very slim amount like areas, but it's pretty cool.
I
like
use
one.
that. I use that all the time on cut passes.
Yeah.
Anytime
decent
I'm
from half court,
Yeah.
if I'm throwing backhand there with that one.
anytime I'm taking a cut pass where I'm on the right side of the arena because I'm right-handed, I'm not going to try and turn my body to throw. I'm just going to do that backhand flip into the goal.
I love that.
You mean
You
you
have
mean left
to.
side?
No, if I'm on the right side of the arena, on the left, I'm not like if I'm cutting from the right side to the left and I receive a cut in front of the goal.
I thought you were talking about actually throwing the cut pass.
No,
okay,
no,
never
no.
mind.
I mean receiving the cut pass. I've seen people try and turn their body or throw against the grain or against their movement, and it's just not. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's like instead of using, because in some scenarios you'd have to either move your body, like move the bot's body, and then you'd have to use a lot of shoulder in order to get that angle. Because, if you're right-handed and you need to technically throw from the left to the right of your body, you have to come backwards with your arm in order to be able to get that direction. Well, it's like, screw that. Just throw from left to right.
Yeah.
You just do it backwards. It's so cool.
Well, another good thing, we're all playing on Quest. You can do a nice little, like 180-degree turn with your body, and then you're not throwing against your shoulder.
You're not choking yourself to death.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you're going back and trying to throw a pure 12-6 overhand in every scenario, right?
Never gonna work.
You cannot do that. Yeah, you can rotate your body all you want, but you're going to get stunned out long before you get that shot off if you have to actually physically rotate, right? And particularly those zero angle shots from the floor, you can't throw 12-6.
Or even like the shot, okay, like underneath goal. For let's say you're straight underneath goal, like where K is right now.
Yeah.
That is a hard location to score with an overhand.
You can't.
It's very difficult because you literally have to reverse your body to get the angle up.
Yeah, you have to bend your back. You have to bend your back too much for you to be able to do anything.
Yeah, so then what do? Okay, you use that backwards one we were just talking about, but you angle it 45 degrees. Done. Easy. Love it.
How did he just score on 3 sitting goalies?
Because there were 3 sitting goalies.
Please, yeah.
Somebody
Probably all grabbed each
dive.
other.
Somebody dive. Come on. Go out and get him.
I mean, even if they dive, they're liable to grab somebody else. So just don't have 3 people in goal. I've never seen a situation with 3 people in goal is a benefit.
Yeah, but 4.
Gosh.
And the comms, though, nobody said a thing.
Yeah.
I heard red after someone got there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're grabs disc. Oh man, sorry, you're red.
Well, that's what I have been talking to
Oh my
Echo
gosh,
Lishan about
again?
the last 2
Well,
times
he
I've
was
been in
looking
there.
I mean, we had a conversation about that yesterday. That you gotta call it way sooner than you think. Like if
you
you're
have-
calling me,
You've got to account for the comms delay.
yeah.
If you
So if
don't,
you're calling
it's
me
useless.
as you throw it at me to get my attention so I can catch it. It's going to hit my head and fly away.
So we need 3 reds, and we need them at least 2 seconds before we need them. Cool, great, thanks.
Where'd you go, Daddy?
Offender seems like he's played for a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah. Not a nub.
It's hard to really evaluate people and their skill
You
level
say,
and experience.
Offender?
Yeah.
Offender is Jag.
Go.
Who?
No, Jag.
Jag.
Go away.
I
Jag-
feel like
Jag
I
changed
know
their
that,
name
but
to Offender.
why would we wait until her head was inside the disc?
Viper lost the
Maybe
handle.
third needed a save.
He did need to save, that was it. Jag. I feel like I know that name, but like maybe never played with them before.
All I was saying is that
They played in the last Charity Cup.
a 5v5 midweek madness is not the match format to evaluate somebody's skill set.
I still believe that I can tell a decent amount about a person's ability to play in any room. Not to be like, oh, you have exactly this skill. But, you know, I can tell whether someone's a bronze player or not in most Tyro events.
I disagree because you keep on telling me I'm not, and I keep on telling you I am. So, you know,
That's garbage
obviously.
out of my face, Torque.
Wasn't the last team you were on gold?
Literally. Legitimately.
Legitimately gold, yeah.
It wasn't even like fake. It wasn't even fake. It was legitimate.
No fool's gold there.
No fool's gold. This is
Technically,
the real
I
deal.
think that team would have been higher without me, but
I'm pretty sure my team would be higher without me. Like, these are semantics. That means nothing. Every one of our teams would be better without us if there was someone that was better on them. Ha ha ha.
well, your team has one of my old teammates.
It also has one of my old teammates, and just 2 of my old teammates.
Keep going towards the goal.
So there. Oh, that was
One of
good.
my old teammates.
Oh, well, my best friend is one of your old teammates. This is like 7
True,
degrees
true.
of
Thank you, Skittles.
Kevin Bacon. What?
You called me your best friend.
I think
I know what you're. I know.
Tree.
It was a joke.
I think,
I hate to tell you this. Bestie.
but
I can't be both of your best friends.
I mean, you could.
I mean, I don't consider best friend to be a singular person. So, like, I have multiple
But best is
people I'm very close with.
You're not gonna win that
the
argument.
better friend.
Oh yeah, Hog, that's all yours.
The better of the best.
Heads up.
The bestest. Most bestest.
Fine, you won't make it.
There we
I'll
go.
make it. Don't worry.
The most best friend.
What the heck is happening?
I don't even know.
There are 9 people inside the goal, inside the rim.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Like they were in the rim.
Yeah, I don't know. Why
The
would
more
you?
people we put in goal, the more heads I guess it has to bounce off of. I guess.
Exactly. At some point, you have enough real estate where it's just not possible to make the shot.
I mean, honestly, now my brain is thinking, how funny would it be if we put like 6 people's heads in front of the goal, and then you had to shoot, and nobody could move their head, so you had to
I
like
mean, that
shoot
would be
in the
funny. Yeah.
box.
New game format.
I
Hitboxes.
can't even see it now.
Yeah,
The
they like
head
trick
hitbox is
shots
pretty
or
small
something.
though. It'd still be.
Yeah, but you still gotta like you can't just shoot. You gotta aim.
And
They gotta aim. If we put like how many boxes are in there? You know, like the little tiny squares that are inside there. What do we got? One, two,
9.
three, four,
You've
so
got
9.
9.
Okay, then we need 9 people. Okay, just enough to fit in the arena. 9 heads with their bodies going in different directions, and then you have to shoot on the goal.
Well, bodies doesn't matter.
I know. Well, that's true.
That'd be good. That'd be good practice for your aiming. Yeah.
That would be really good practice for aiming.
I'll go in.
Chicago.
Oh, okay.
It'd be-
That's disappointing.
It would be really good practice for aiming if you had 9 heads and you had to sit there and go for the little slivers between the hitboxes.
Right? Like, yeah. That is a reason why I like the brain, come on, the personal disc function when I'm in a practice arena, because I like that it shows me exactly where, because you can be in there throwing the other disc and you can kind of assume where it went in, but you might not be exactly right. But being able to see, like, I was aiming for here, and this is where it actually ended up. Okay,
Yep.
well, I might need to work on that. I like that function.
See, but I do it with the personal disc. I don't aim for pockets. I aim for those little tiny X's and try and hit the little tiny X's. Because if you can get to the point where you can consistently hit a point in space like that, then when you
I'm
go
not
to
that
start
accurate. I don't have that ability.
when you start
I'm actually
shooting
not very
pockets,
accurate
it
at
gets
all.
so easy to hit the pocket because then it's like trying to throw a rock into a swimming pool versus playing quarters. It's
Nice.
I'm really accurate into the goalie's hands.
Oh, I
The hell
played
was
with you
that?
last season. You hit a lot of good shots.
Got him.
That's him being sarcastic.
That's
I mean,
true.
I was
Yeah.
probably him being like sarcastic in on an honest way though, but like in like a ha ha ha. I don't.
Disco disc.
Disco disc. Someone died. Something.
Something died.
Disco disc looks so cool though. Dive. What are you doing?
Nice. I knew that was a lie.
That might not have been a good dive. There was a cut.
I wasn't skilled enough to do anything about it, but I knew it was a lie.
Yeah, and you know what else there was? A bunch of orange teammates floating around, not doing either. That's well, I'm working with Aperture, team, and one of the things that is interesting is when we kind of talk about like Bubble D, talking about the aspects of bubble defense, because I feel like, and Roman, how feel whether you're in the goal or you're out of the goal, and like where you feel more confident and stuff, and I feel like there's
I'm playing plugs.
I
Well,
feel like there's
So
There's
Viper, to my
parts to
defense,
each one of those
I
that
think you probably saw me on. You did see me on
you
that.
fine
right?
tune in your own personal abilities,
So I had both. of
whether
mine.
it is being in the goal and knowing if you want
Oh my
to,
God. I
dive, or you
both.
want to hold, or you want to wait, having what kind of defensive help you have as a goalie, and how you're going to become that defensive help for your goalie. I find that a very interesting topic.
Well, we will
Yeah.
save that topic for next week. That is the end of our 6 rounds of Tyro Midweek Madness Early Edition. Thank you for joining us here on VR Broadcast Network. Give everybody a chance to say goodbye. Anybody?
Adios.
Bye.
Later.
And we will see you again next week, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, here on VR Broadcast Network. Bye-bye.
Whatever network we are. Bye.
Whatever.
Into the hands of Nagini. Nagini getting this
guys.
cross
How did I
off to
do?
Corny, which once again, Corny getting grounded, getting the move, and oh,
There on the boot, but oh, very close. Oh, and 9
stacks. It is going to be Chuckles a lot there first, but 31 gets the turnover. It is a 4v.
on some brawling happening in the back. Time Lord's going to pass it right over to the center. There goes
The Precise. As Precise gets this one picked up and sent across to Sandalorian. The quick 1-2 back to the Precise, who gets through one, takes the shot, but Corny Witch says trap area into the hands of Nagini. Nagini has the open goal, but maybe, not quite trusting that distance from them. The Precise passing, it is awesome to see players like this working in a team scenario. And oh, what a pass over to AJ Bear.
a bit lows, but they are going to get another chance at taking it, and 9 pops up from the
Spin this one forward under some pressure. Gets it to Media, who gets the behind the back slap. Last opportunity here for Nagini.
just shy of catching the teammate, but it doesn't matter. Purple here, but the blue team's going to take over possession again. Nice clear. That was fantastic from the blue team. See if they can get it down there. Oh! And they're coming in hot, but oh, and a steal. What's gonna happen? And 9 drops it 2 and actually misses the goal. That's okay. Purple Flame's gonna pick it back up, try and go for a